Groom humiliated brides. Poor father, then froze as his CFO stepped in. The grand ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers, their golden light reflecting off polished marble floors. Guests dressed in designer suits and luxurious gowns mingled, their laughter blending with the soft music of a live orchestra. It was a wedding that screamed wealth, status, and power. At the center of it all stood Arman Shah, the groom. A successful businessman in his early 30s, known for his sharp mind, expensive taste, and even sharper arrogance. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of his life. But Arman had one condition when he agreed to marry Aisha. Her family had to fit in. Aisha, dressed in a breathtaking ivory gown, stood quietly near the stage. Her beauty turned heads, but her eyes carried a subtle worry, one she had been hiding for weeks. Because she knew her father would come. And she knew Arman wouldn't like it. At the entrance of the hall, an old man hesitated. His clothes were clean but simple, a faded kurta, worn sandals, and a shawl folded carefully over his shoulder. His hair was gray, his face lined with years of struggle, but his eyes held dignity. This was Haji Karim, Aisha's father. He looked around nervously, adjusting his sleeves. The guards at the entrance had already questioned him twice. Invitation, one of them asked coldly. I am the bride's father, Karim replied softly. The guards exchanged a doubtful glance. Before they could say anything, Aisha spotted him from across the hall. Abu, she whispered, her face lighting up. Without caring about the crowd, she lifted her dress slightly and rushed toward him. Abu, you came, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. Karim smiled gently. How could I not? It's your big day, Beta. For a moment, the world felt warm again. Until Arman noticed. Arman's smile slowly faded as he watched the scene. Who is that? He asked one of his friends. That looks like your father-in-law, the friend replied hesitantly. Arman's jaw tightened. That's impossible, he muttered. But it wasn't. As Aisha held her father's hand and led him inside, the contrast between the luxurious setting and Karim's humble appearance became painfully obvious. Whispers started spreading. Is that really her father? He looks like a laborer. What is he doing here? Arman walked toward them, his expression turning cold with every step. Aisha, he said sharply. She turned, her smile fading. Yes. What is this? He gestured toward Karim. This is my father, she replied calmly, though her heart was racing. Arman let out a dry laugh. Your father? He looked Karim up and down with visible disgust. You couldn't even arrange decent clothes for today. Karim lowered his gaze but remained silent. Aisha's eyes filled with tears. Arman, please, don't do this. But Arman wasn't done. This is embarrassing, he said loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. Do you have any idea how important people are here today? Karim spoke softly. Beta, I didn't come to cause trouble. I just came to bless my daughter. Arman's face hardened. Blessing, he scoffed. We don't need your blessings. Aisha grabbed his arm. Stop it. But Arman pulled his arm away. No, I made it very clear, he said coldly. I didn't want this kind of scene. The room had gone silent. Everyone was watching. Karim took a step back. I'll leave, he said quietly. No, Arman snapped. You should leave. Aisha gasped. Arman, I don't want him here, Arman said firmly. Not in front of my guests. The words hit like a slap. Karim looked at his daughter one last time, forcing a small smile. Be happy, Beta, he whispered. Then he turned to leave. But before he could take more than a few steps, something unexpected happened. The main doors of the hall opened again. This time, a man in a perfectly tailored suit walked in, confident, composed, and commanding attention instantly. It was Mr. Salman Khan, the chief financial officer of Arman's company. A man known for his strict professionalism and sharp decisions. Arman frowned slightly. Why is he here so late? He muttered. Salman scanned the room briefly. Then his eyes landed on Karim. And something changed. Without hesitation, Salman walked straight toward the old man. Sir, Salman said respectfully. Karim looked surprised. Salman, Beta. The entire room froze. Arman blinked in confusion. Sir, Salman repeated, with deep respect in his voice. Why are you leaving? A hush fell over the crowd. Arman stepped forward. Mr. Salman, do you know him? Salman turned slowly toward Arman. The respect in his expression was replaced by something colder. Yes, he said firmly. I do. He looked back at Karim. This man, Salman continued, is the reason I am where I am today. Murmurs spread across the hall. Arman felt a strange unease. Salman's voice grew stronger. When I had nothing, no job, no money, no hope, he said, he gave me work. Not as a favor, but as dignity. Kareem tried to stop him. Beta, it's not necessary. But Salman continued. He paid for my education, he said. He helped me stand on my feet when the world turned its back on me. Armin's face slowly drained of color. And today, Salman added, his voice sharp, you call him an embarrassment. Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Aisha stood frozen, tears streaming down her face. Armin tried to speak. I didn't know. That's the problem, Salman interrupted. You never cared to know. Every word felt like a blow. You judge people by their clothes, Salman continued, but you don't see their worth. Kareem sighed softly. Enough, Beta, let it go. But Salman wasn't done yet. He looked directly at Armin. If this is how you treat the father of your bride, he said coldly, then I seriously question the kind of man you are. Armin felt his chest tighten. For the first time that day, he had no words. No arrogance. No control. Just shame. Aisha walked slowly toward her father. I'm sorry, Abu, she whispered. Kareem gently wiped her tears. You have nothing to be sorry for. Then he looked at Armin. There was no anger in his eyes. Only disappointment. That day I agreed to this marriage, Kareem said quietly. I hoped you would value my daughter more than your pride. Armin lowered his gaze. I failed, Kareem continued. The words cut deeper than any insult. Minutes passed. The music had stopped. The guests remained silent. And Armin stood there, exposed, humbled, and broken in a way he had never experienced before. Finally, he stepped forward. Uncle, he said softly. Kareem looked at him. I'm sorry, Armin said, his voice shaking. I was wrong. It wasn't a grand speech. It wasn't dramatic. But it was real. For the first time in his life, Armin felt small. Not because of wealth, but because of character. Kareem studied him for a moment. Then he nodded slowly. Respect is not given by words, he said. It is shown through actions. Armin nodded. I understand. That day, the wedding didn't end in celebration. It ended in reflection. For Armin, it was the beginning of change. For Aisha, it was a test of patience. And for Kareem, it was proof that true dignity doesn't come from wealth, but from the lives you touch. Because sometimes, the poorest looking man in the room carries the richest legacy of all.